don't know if their own personal space for social distancing is as strict as mine is.
The sister wives world has been rocked by a revelation no one saw coming. Kody Brown, the man who once stood as the symbol of plural unity, is now crumbling under the weight of betrayal, heartbreak, and shocking secrets. In a jaw-dropping twist that fans never expected, whispers are turning into roars as rumors swirl that Robyn Brown, the one wife Kody clung to while the rest walked away, has been caught in a secret relationship with another man. And not just any man, someone Kody never imagined would come between them. The internet is ablaze, emotions are high, and the once stable Brown foundation is cracking faster than ever before. Viewers who've followed this emotional roller coaster of a family for more than a decade have seen it all. Weddings filled with joy, babies welcomed with love, tension boiling beneath the surface, and heartbreak splitting the seams of once sacred vows. But nothing compares to this. After Christine, Janelle, and Mary made their exits, Robyn remained the last wife standing, the last link to Kody's fading dream of a plural household. Publicly, Kody and Robyn insisted everything was fine. They smiled for the cameras, linked arms at events, and Kody even proclaimed on the season 18 tell-all that Robyn was the love of his life. But behind closed doors, a storm had been brewing, and now it has finally broken loose. According to a family insider who spoke to Radar Online, Robyn had grown distant in recent months, taking more time for herself, frequenting a quaint little cafe in town, alone, day after day. At first, it seemed innocent. Everyone needs space to breathe. But whispers started, and those whispers turned into sightings. Regulars at the cafe began to notice a tall, well-dressed man often joining Robyn. They spoke in hushed tones, leaned in close, laughed like old friends reunited. It didn't take long for observers to realize this wasn't a casual acquaintance. One witness even commented, "It looked romantic. That wasn't business. That was connection." The man, only identified as Marcus, reportedly works in real estate and had initially met Robyn while assisting her with financial issues. But soon, their connection deepened. Robyn, according to sources, felt something she hadn't felt in years, seen, heard, understood. Meanwhile, Kody noticed changes. Robyn began dressing up more for her solo outings. She stayed out longer, seemed distracted at home, and her phone was never out of her sight. The man who once demanded loyalty from his wives started to spiral. Suspicion turned to paranoia. He began snooping through Robyn's phone, confronting her with rapid-fire questions, even following her on a few occasions. When he asked, she stood her ground. "I just need space," she told him, her voice firm. "Why don't you trust me?" But Kody's instinct screamed otherwise. Then, one night, those instincts were confirmed in the most brutal way. Several eyewitnesses claim that Kody followed Robyn to a high-end restaurant outside Flagstaff. He watched as she arrived, not alone, but holding hands with Marcus, laughing, intimate, at peace. The image shattered him. Something in Kody snapped. He stormed into the restaurant, furious, demanding answers. Diners froze as he pointed at Robyn and shouted accusations. "Liar! Cheater!" he yelled, his voice echoing through the shocked silence. Robyn burst into tears as Marcus tried to calm Kody down, but outside things escalated. Witnesses say both men nearly came to blows, screaming in each other's faces before restaurant security intervened. It was ugly, it was raw, and it was the end of the lie. Robyn didn't return home that night. In the days that followed, she packed a few bags and left the house she once shared with Kody. She moved in with a close friend, needing space and clarity. In quiet conversations with those she trusted, Robyn shared her side of the story. "I didn't mean for this to happen," she confessed. "I was lonely. Kody hasn't been himself in years. Marcus just listened to me. He reminded me I mattered." She insisted nothing physical happened between them, but acknowledged a deep emotional bond. "I wasn't trying to hurt Kody," she said softly, "but I couldn't keep living like a ghost in that house." Back home, Kody was unraveling. Those close to him say he vacillated wildly, one moment, sending long texts begging Robyn to return, and the next unleashing cruel, angry rants. "He feels like his whole world was a lie," one insider revealed. He gave up everything, Christine, Janelle, Mary, for Robyn. And now she's the one who broke him. The emotional implosion sent ripples through the rest of the family. Christine, never shy about Kody's favoritism, reportedly told a friend, "Karma always comes back. He made his choices. Now he gets to live with them." Janelle, while less harsh, noted, "Robyn's not innocent, but she's been under pressure too. Kody's been unbearable for years." As for Mary, the most emotionally battered of the original wives, she simply shook her head and said, "Now he knows what betrayal feels like." And who exactly is Marcus, the man at the center of this chaos? Neighbors describe him as articulate, kind, and relatively new to the area. He's not part of the Browns' religious circle, but he's reportedly respectful, down to earth, and carries himself with quiet confidence. He met Robyn through a mutual acquaintance, originally to help her navigate some real estate and tax challenges. "It wasn't supposed to happen," a family friend said, "but it did." The connection between them was instant and deep. Whether or not it was ever romantic, the emotional impact was undeniable and devastating for Kody. In the aftermath, Kody's rage has turned into legal maneuvering. Sources say he's been consulting attorneys, looking at his options. He feels humiliated, betrayed, and furious. He sacrificed so much, a friend noted. He thought he and Robyn were forever. Now he's questioning everything. Some reports even claim Kody has reached out to Janelle and Mary, apologizing, trying to make peace. But no one can say whether those apologies are sincere or just a desperate attempt to salvage what little is left of his public image. Robyn, on the other hand, remains deeply conflicted. In a private message to a close friend, she allegedly wrote, "I never wanted this. I loved Kody with all I had. But over time, he stopped seeing me as a person. I felt like a possession. With Marcus, I remembered who I was. I felt alive again." Still, she hasn't made any final decisions. "I need time," she said. "I don't know if I can ever trust Kody again. But I don't want to break my children's hearts either." Fans, of course, wasted no time taking to social media. On Twitter, one user posted, "Robyn was always seen as the villain, but maybe she was a prisoner too. This is insane." Another wrote, "Kody gave up everyone for Robyn, and now she cheats? You couldn't write this drama if you tried." Reddit threads exploded with opinions. Some mocked Kody's downfall, while others sympathized. One comment read, "Wouldn't be surprised if he ends up alone, bitter, blaming everyone but himself." And amid all the drama, one heartbreaking concern rises above the noise: the children. Robyn's kids, who once saw Kody as a rock, are struggling to process what's happening. A close source said, "They're confused. They love Kody, but they've seen how broken their mom has been. It's hard." Robyn reportedly told them, "No matter what happens between your dad and me, he will always be your father. I'm not making any quick decisions. I'm doing what's right, for you and for me." As for Kody, he's been spotted in Flagstaff, alone, disheveled, teary-eyed behind the wheel of his truck. Friends say he's told them he doesn't even recognize his life anymore. And maybe that's the saddest part of all. Kody Brown, once the center of a controversial but tight-knit family, now sits in the wreckage of the choices he made. Whether this is a turning point or the final chapter of his reality TV saga, only time will tell.
You cannot ever blame the fact that Robyn and I had a deep love on the way that these other relationships.
After everything that's happened, Kody Brown is finally facing the reality he never thought possible. Robyn might leave him too. He truly believed Robyn would never walk away, revealed a family insider. Now he's walking around like a ghost, saying things like, "Maybe I scared everyone off. Maybe it's too late to fix any of it." The man who once stood tall as the patriarch of the Brown family is now crumbling beneath the weight of his own choices. And Robyn? She's standing at a painful crossroads. According to those close to her, Robyn is torn in two. She still loves Kody, somewhere deep down, a friend shared, but she also knows she deserves happiness. For the first time in years, Robyn is starting to feel something she thought she'd lost forever: freedom, a sense of self, a taste of life beyond the chaos. And Marcus, the man at the center of this emotional storm, isn't pressuring her. He's giving her space to choose her own path. "I'm not here to push you," he told her gently, "but I'll be here if you choose me." As this real-life drama unfolds, TLC has remained silent, officially, but a source within production says the network is already strategizing how to incorporate the emotional upheaval into upcoming episodes. "This is ratings gold," the insider said. "The fans have been waiting for the other shoe to drop, and now it finally has." With cameras still rolling, it's clear this may become the most explosive season of Sister Wives ever filmed. For years, fans have criticized Kody for showing blatant favoritism toward Robyn. He emotionally abandoned Mary, Janelle, and Christine, only to devote himself entirely to Robyn. But now, that devotion has backfired. The woman he placed above all others may be the one to break him completely. A production source confirmed, "Everything fans thought they knew about Kody and Robyn, it's about to be turned upside down. Whether Robyn chooses to stay with Kody, move on with Marcus, or forge an entirely new path for herself and her children, one thing is certain: the Brown family will never be the same again." But just when you thought it couldn't possibly get worse, it did. Another crushing chapter has been written. Kody Brown has filed for bankruptcy. In a heartbreaking twist, Robyn and her children have reportedly been served an eviction notice, forced to leave the Flagstaff mansion they once called home. The rumors about declining finances, mounting debts, and legal troubles, all true. And now, the consequences have arrived in the most painful way possible. The collapse didn't happen overnight. It was years in the making. Fans watched Kody struggle and fail to maintain his plural marriage. One by one, his wives left, citing emotional neglect and financial irresponsibility. By 2022, only Robyn remained, both legally and spiritually. For a while, it seemed like Kody and Robyn could finally enjoy the peace they always claimed to want. But behind the scenes, their financial world was unraveling fast. The Browns had been living beyond their means for years. Decades of excessive spending, unpaid property taxes, and legal bills caught up with them. Even before the marriages fell apart, they were juggling mortgages on multiple homes. Christine walked away quietly. Janelle had to fight to reclaim what she had contributed. Mary was barely getting by. And yet, Kody and Robyn continued to live, lavishly, still dreaming about building on the infamous Coyote Pass property, a dream that never became reality. The property remained empty. No homes, no income, just tens of thousands of dollars in annual taxes. For a time, Sister Wives revenue covered the bills, but ratings started to drop and cracks began to show. Fans noticed the contrast. Christine, Janelle, and Mary in modest rentals while Kody and Robyn stayed in a $900,000 mansion. How are they affording that? People asked online. The answer? They weren't. Things came to a breaking point this year. Legal fees were mounting, property taxes were overdue, and Kody faced foreclosure. At first, he hid it from Robyn, but eventually, the truth surfaced. Robyn had no idea how deep in debt they were. She believed their love and connection somehow protected them from the chaos that had destroyed the rest of the family. She was wrong. By late spring, Kody filed for Chapter 13 bankruptcy. It was a last-ditch effort to restructure his debts, but it came at a steep cost. The Flagstaff home had to be surrendered. It was the final straw. Kody was humiliated, said a source. He always saw himself as the provider, the leader, but he couldn't fix it this time. The court filings reportedly listed hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, unpaid mortgages, credit card balances, legal fees, and taxes. And then came the blow that shattered what little was left: eviction. Robyn and her children were given 30 days to vacate. A neighbor recalled seeing her sobbing outside the house, surrounded by movers and cardboard boxes. The kids were confused, the neighbor said. One of them even asked, "Did we do something wrong?" That broke my heart. Robyn begged Kody to fight for their home, to do something. But he just sat there, silent and empty. "It's not my fault," he kept saying. "I did everything I could." But Robyn didn't believe him anymore. She felt abandoned. She had given up everything for Kody, her independence, her image, her pride. And now, she and her children were being discarded with nothing. Perhaps the most painful part? The children's grief. This home had been their first true sense of stability. And now, it was being ripped away. Neighbors watched as the kids helped pack boxes, loaded up cars, and cried as they left behind the only place they'd ever truly called home. One of them asked if they were going to be homeless, a neighbor recalled tearfully. It was devastating. Today, Robyn and her kids are living in a modest rental on the outskirts of town. It's a far cry from the luxury they once had. Robyn is reportedly ashamed, struggling to keep it together, relying on help from extended family and friends. On the outside, she's trying to be strong for her kids, said a source. But inside, she's falling apart. And Kody? He's unraveling. Friends say he swings wildly from denial to fury to deep regret. One minute he's screaming at the world, blaming everyone, his wives, his children, even the government, said someone close to him. The next minute, he's broken, sobbing, lost. At first, Kody remained eerily silent. Not a word. Just days after the chaos, friends spotted him wandering alone through the barren land of Coyote Pass, murmuring to himself, eyes vacant, like a man who had lost everything. He still believes he can fix it all, one source whispered. But the truth? There's nothing left to save. When word spread of Kody's bankruptcy and Robyn's eviction, the reactions from the other wives weren't uniform, but none of them were shocked. Christine, though concerned for the children, had seen this coming long ago. She's been warning us for years, a close friend revealed. Kody was always spending like there was no limit. Janelle's response was sharper, colder. He made his bed, now he has to lie in it, she reportedly said, shaking her head in disappointment. Mary, ever the one to carry her pain quietly, responded with subtle compassion. According to insiders, she even reached out to Robyn directly. I know what it feels like to be discarded, she told her. And truly, she did. Online, the fan reactions were a storm of empathy, outrage, and brutal honesty. Robyn thought she won when the other wives left, one user commented. Now she's paying the price. On Reddit, the sentiment turned even darker. This is what happens when you treat your family like disposable pawns, someone wrote. Still, others extended grace, not to Kody and Robyn, but to the innocent children caught in the fallout. They didn't ask for this. They deserve better, a viewer posted. There was pain in those words, the kind only decades of broken trust can create. TLC, the network that made the Browns a household name, has stayed silent officially. But insiders are already whispering that the production team is shifting gears, preparing to feature the financial collapse, the emotional unraveling, all of it, in the upcoming season. It's raw, it's real, and people can't look away, said one producer. It's tragic TV gold. Now, every eye is on Robyn. The woman once seen as Kody's prized companion is now at a painful crossroads. She's exhausted, a friend confided, emotionally drained and unsure of what comes next. She knows Kody failed her, but after so many years orbiting his world, she doesn't know how to step out of it. There are whispers, quiet but growing, that she might one day leave him. She's starting to see that she doesn't have to sync with him, someone close to her revealed. But for now, she remains, caught between heartbreak and fear. And what about Kody? Despite losing his family, his home, and his dignity, sources say he hasn't given up. Not completely. He's talking about writing a book, one insider said. Maybe a podcast, maybe speaking gigs. It reeks of desperation, a last gasp to salvage relevance. Whether those dreams will ever come true, that remains unknown. But the Brown family as we once knew it, that's gone, shattered. The idea of one big plural family bonded by faith and love, it's in ruins. Kody thought he could keep Robyn and the family name, a source said bitterly. Now he's broke and alone. A sad echo of the man who once believed he could do it all. For fans, this downfall feels like a modern cautionary tale, a parable of pride, ego, and misplaced loyalty. They thought they were above reality, one longtime viewer wrote. But you can't run from the truth forever. Others, however, still hold hope, not for Kody, but for Robyn and her children. They deserve peace, one fan said. They've lived too long in chaos. The viral image of Robyn crying as she packed her children and walked out of the Flagstaff home. It pierced hearts. It was the final scene in a tragedy already drenched in betrayal and loss. And now, the Browns face their biggest challenge yet, to rebuild emotionally, financially, and spiritually, together or apart. But nothing prepared fans for the next explosion. Just when it seemed like things couldn't get worse, Kody erupted again, this time in a fiery clash with both Janelle and Meri. The spark? A property deed. The long-simmering conflict over Coyote Pass finally boiled over. Janelle and Meri, fed up with years of false promises and legal limbo, had demanded Kody sign over their rightful portions. What started as a tense conversation quickly escalated into a shouting match filled with resentment, anger, and decades of unresolved pain. Kody had once sold them a dream of unity, of shared land, of family homes nestled side by side on that stretch of Arizona dirt. But one by one, that dream had crumbled. Christine was the first to walk away, then Janelle, then Meri, each pushed out by Kody's obsession with Robyn and his tightening grip on control. But despite the emotional breakups, the legal mess surrounding Coyote Pass remained unresolved. When Janelle and Meri approached Kody that day, files in hand, hearts heavy but determined, he was already on edge. Standing by an old surveying post, he met them with suspicion. The women spoke calmly at first. "We just want our fair share," one insider said they told him. "Put it in writing, let's settle this." But Kody snapped. "This is my land," he snarled. "You're trying to steal from me." Janelle reminded him of the thousands of dollars she'd invested. Meri spoke of years of waiting and sacrifice, but Kody was spiraling. He began pacing, yelling, gesturing wildly. He accused them of betrayal, of trying to tarnish the Brown name. "You brought this family down," Janelle fired back. "Not us," Meri added. "We're just asking for what's right." But Kody wouldn't hear it. "It's all I have left," he shouted. "And now you want to take that from me too?" The fight grew so intense, neighbors heard the shouting. Some thought someone was crying. Others saw Kody storm off only to return and reignite the argument again. Then came the warning. If Kody wouldn't cooperate, they'd take him to court. They didn't want it to come to that, a source said, but they were ready if it did. Kody just laughed. "Call your lawyers," he told them. "See what it gets you." But Janelle and Meri weren't bluffing. They were done being pushed aside. Robyn, noticeably absent, claimed it wasn't her battle. But insiders weren't buying it. "She's always been pulling the strings," one said. "She didn't want to share. She never did." Some believe Robyn encouraged Kody to keep hold of the land, not for unity, but for control. After the confrontation, Janelle and Meri left angry but empowered. They had stood their ground. And Kody? He remained behind, muttering, broken, and alone once again. News of the showdown spread quickly through the family. Christine, now remarried and far from the drama, was proud. "I'm glad they stood up for themselves," she said. Janelle's children backed her fiercely. "He treated Mom like a doormat for years," one son